Click on red. Can you hear me, Claire?
Okay. Okay.
is me, Harrison Myers, with my co-host Matt Jandrew. Matt, it's good to have you back. Didn't have you last weekend. You know, I was talking to myself a lot, and I was always saying, oh, my co-host Matt Jandrew's not here, unfortunately.
I'm back today, Harrison. I couldn't be more happy. We're going to start the basketball season off with a great couple of games against Niagara College, and both these Mohawks men's and women's team started their season off a week ago against Redeemer, and they both came in with big wins. Against Niagara, excuse me, not Humber.
Yeah, against Conestoga, Matt. And yeah, they both got wins against Conestoga, as you said, and they'll be looking to build on that against Niagara College now. So for the women, they lost both times to Niagara College in the last season. However, new season, obviously they won the whole thing, and they'll be looking to build on that.
Yeah, this Niagara team is really good. They actually won the West Division last year in the OCAA with a 14-2 record, but they have 7 freshmen now this year, so it's kind of a new look team for Niagara. And like you said, this Mohawk team are defending champs, so a big opening day game here for them, and we'll see how they play. In their first game, they shot incredibly well from the floor. They had 40% shooting from beyond the three-point line as a team, so they shot really well. And on the other end, Niagara did not shoot. There was 27% shooting from the field, so hopefully they can force this young, inexperienced Niagara team into some bad shots and come away with their second win of the year.
Yeah, last season, the Mohawk women ended the season 11-5 in third place. The Niagara women ended 14-2 in first place. So obviously they were a really solid team, but clearly some people became seniors and graduated. So 2 different looking rosters as we are getting ready. Huddles beginning, as you are able to see in the standings. Both teams have only played 1 game so far, so a little bit obviously still early on. We'll probably have a feeling out period as we've seen in every sports game that we've commentated, especially the first one.
Absolutely, just kind of get yourself settled into the game here, but a returning player from Mohawk, Kendra Oliver, last game came out really strong. She was a big part of their championship last year, and she is currently leading all OCAA in scoring. She had 24 points in their last win, which was an 80-58 win. So already, even though it is early, you're seeing those important key players from last year stepping it up once again. And it's a good looking start for this Mohawk women's team.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Matt. As we have some stats not coming up on the board, just so you don't think we're lying or just making stuff up. So as you can see, only 1 game into the season, so stats inflated, obviously. But there's no shame in the Mountaineers being third with a 1-0 record. Obviously, winning by 10 in their last game. They'll look to build onto that. And, you know, we're about to get ready, about 5 minutes heading into this one. I'm feeling good. We're back in the arena again. If you missed it last week, it was volleyball. We had some very cool introductions. We had the whole stadium lights going out. We got some camera crew right in front, a nice little tunnel. So I'm very excited to see, obviously, you know, the defending champs, that they'll get another big one like that.
You got to think there'll be a big pop here in the David Braley Athletic and Recreation Center when the returning champ starting lineup gets announced for the first time this year. And yeah, credit to the Mohawk broadcast team here. They all do a great job, and the presentation is always pretty electric when they come out for the first time.
As we have some more statistics for you in the last game, Kendra Oliver at 24 points, 11 rebounds, the double-double. Joanna Smith at 10 points, and Rachel Guanzon had 11 points. So, I mean, you know, all around great scoring.
And Tiffany Williams with 4 offensive rebounds, so she was, you know, strong on the offensive glass. She wasn't in the starting lineup, but she did play a lot of the game, and she'll be an important part kind of dominating that paint, especially against a lot of freshmen, you know, forwards and centers on this Niagara team. So we'll see how she impacts it again.
As we're looking now at head coach right there, Mihai Radicanu, as we have now some standings coming up for the Eastern Western Conference. Just the Mountaineers are in the Western Conference, which may surprise some people. Obviously, you know, you think of Ontario, you usually think of the East, but in this one we're in the West. And as you see from our great production crew, both teams highlighted. Again, every team has played 1 game. Some teams have played 2, as the Mountaineers are about to play their second, as well as the Knights. As both teams now will head on the court. Matt, we're getting close to game time. I'm excited.
Yeah, and you saw in those West Division standings a lot of good team. Obviously, we know this Niagara team, 14-2, won the division last year, but also Humber, who Mohawk played in the final in this division. So it's going to be tough to get back into the playoffs here, but they're starting the year off well, obviously with that win, and now looking for 2 in a row today.
2 in a row. I mean, I'm sure that's the goal as we get ready for the national anthems. And so we'll take a quick little 2-minute just break, and we'll be right back.
OCAA champion, Mohawk Mountaineers. Mohawk College is a proud member of the Ontario Colleges Athletics Association and as a member advocate for fair play policy as outlined by the OCAA. Mohawk College staff and game officials have the right to remove any spectator for exhibiting unsportsmanlike, rude, and or objectionable behavior as well as foul language during the match. Please cheer in a professional and sporting manner. We acknowledge that Mohawk College is situated on the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe nations within the lands protected by the Indigenous Wet'suwet'en Wampum Agreement. It is currently home to many indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island. Now, if I could ask you to please rise and wave your hands as we are going for the pledge of the Canadian National Anthem.
We are back after national anthems, ready to go now as both teams will come out as we hear the starting lineups now being called out. Last minute pep talks, Matt, and we're ready to go.
Harrison, I am pumped up. Obviously, we know this is a returning championship team. It's going to be very exciting. There's going to be a lot of energy in here today, and I'm just ready to go and see some epic basketball here today between these two great teams.
I'm very excited. This has been, at least from what I've heard from people in my classes, usually the basketball is the biggest attraction. Men and women, biggest crowds, and you know, softball and soccer did not disappoint. Volleyball hasn't disappointed either, so I'm expecting, you know, big ovation. We already have pretty much a packed house.
Yeah, it's filling up nicely here on a Saturday. People making the effort to come out and support, and we will go to the introductions now here as the lights go down.
Nice little introductions there as the lights are nice and dimmed. Got some beautiful ovation, and now the games will begin.
A little bit of a different look for the starting lineup from their first game. Tiffany Williams is in the lineup. She had those 4 big offensive rebounds in the last game, and she also led the team in field goal percentage with 63% shooting. So she's getting a lot of those points in the interior in the paint, but still an absolutely superbly efficient shooter, and good to see her getting a chance to get the start here for the home opener, as we will see the tip-off now.
Just as you said earlier, Matt, a lot of first years for Niagara College. Clearly, obviously, last year, they won the division, but as it is in university and college sports, people get old, people graduate. You got to get new talent, you got to rebuild. So we'll have to see if Niagara College are still as good as they once were, and listen, I wouldn't put it past them.
And they got Emma Laslock there to take the tip-off against Tiffany Williams, and she is one of the few returning players on this Niagara squad. She's a third year, so there is some veteran presence there, but just not on the level of this Mohawk Mountaineer squad.
We are underway, and Williams does win the tip-off. Get the ball back, but just go out of play. Nice idea there to go for the little lob pass, and just out of Williams' reach.
So yeah, trying to get a quick transition bucket to start this one off, but Williams couldn't quite reel that one in. As we'll get a clock adjustment here.
Now we're underway, and the Mountaineers are in a full press situation to start off this game. Shallow passes it across to Teskey in the middle of Ndideli. Some great defense from Williams, and now a steal. Beautifully done there by Guanzan. A side wide open mid-range shot just off the rim. The Knights will recover, but Mountaineers continuing their press. Open 3, off the mark, coming from Teskey. Ball comes back out, another 3. Off the mark once again. Foul called on the Mountaineers off on the rebound.
Yeah, it looks like Teskey's gonna go to the line, but early on in those first couple possessions there, this Niagara team has really been dominating that paint, and they've got a couple of quick offensive rebounds that have kept this possession alive for them.
Pereira with the inbound, inside to Teskey, puts it up and puts it in through the tough contact, and great defense by Jenna Griffin. Mountaineers will now get their first real offensive possession. Guanzan down low to Williams, back out wide open 3, just off the rim, coming from Jenna Griffin. Knights recover. Lyric Shallow, pulled back, was thinking about the 3, didn't take it. Passes it off to Venditelli. She is fouled, and it is
Be an
offensive foul.
Lyric Shallow there, you saw setting up that play that turned into the offensive foul, but she had 17 points for this Niagara team in their losing effort, so she's one of the few bright spots, one of the only players kind of shooting the ball well, so we'll see if she gets back on a good foot here to get this team back into the win column.
We'll have to wait and see, just as you said, Matt. The Mountaineers will once again try to get their first points on the board. And a wide open, easy layup. It just rimmed off. Offensive rebound for the Mountaineers. A block there coming from Laslock. Does go out of play, and it will be Knights ball.
It's a lot of kind of messy play inside the paint there for those offensive rebounds. We saw Mohawk get one there, and Niagara's already gotten a couple on the other end, so to chalk that up to probably just early season kind of figuring out the rhythm, but the boxing out not clean on either end.
Pereira passes it off to Teskey. Teskey to Venditelli. Back across to Shallow. Shallow gives it away. Intercepted by Griffin. She will lose it though. Shallow recovers to Venditelli. Pereira calling for a down low with the layup. Beautifully played by the Knights to steal that one away.
Perfect transition play to get a bucket off of a good steal, but
Nice down low once again. Williams layup won't go. Rebound. Another layup. This time won't go from Oliver. She puts it up again. Still won't go. Maybe an eye poke there. She's favoring her left eye. Vendatelli with the layup. Won't go. Big rebound by Griffin, one of the smaller players, and
She got right in there.
she got rocked in the air, Matt.
This Mountaineers team, it's early on, but seem to not be able to break the lid off the basket here as they have had a few misses in close early on.
And I think head coach right now, Mehi Ridikanu, telling his team that doesn't matter if you miss, just keep going. Obviously, eventually you are going to score. And that is definitely what the Mountaineers want to do, is down low into Williams' layup. Won't go again. Another rebound. Oliver puts it up. Still won't go. Williams again. Bully ball. Still doesn't go. Almost got the offensive rebound once again. And as you said, Matt, the lid is still closed, but the rebounding does show some positives.
Yeah, they're really dominating that offensive paint, but just as I was talking pregame how good Tiffany Williams' shooting has been, she's struggled as she's had 4 or 5 misses already. Really in tight, in close. So they're going to have to try to break that trend and get themselves on the scoreboard before the deficit gets too big.
Yeah, obviously, tough layups, a lot of good defense, a lot of contact, but you'd hope that she could start making them as Mountaineers once again on another attack. Griffin with it, looking for some help. Calling for it is Oliver. Will not get it. Layup and a foul there on the shot, so the Mountaineers will get a chance to get their first points at the line.
And that'll be Vanessa Sophie going to the line there. Oh, it looked like, yeah. I thought for a second it might be just passing, but it will be a couple of shots. And the lid just still firmly tight on that basket.
It's maybe a bit of a double rim, invisible double rim getting at these Mountaineer players. But
There we
Sophie
go.
will make her second to make it 4-1. And the press continues for the Mountaineers. Look good so far, but the Knights able to break out quickly. Pereira with the layup will not go.
Oh,
Big rebound in battle. As Knight head coach Ali Columbus wanting a call of the
No.
big contact, which
I think that was the right call by the ref. I think Tiffany Williams got there first, and coach is calling for a hook, but evidently the referee disagrees.
yeah. When she walks over, I'm gonna try to be as quiet as possible. I don't want to.
We're a little tighter to the action here, Harrison, than
bit
we were
scared.
in our sanctuary of the production booth in the softball and soccer games.
Williams passes it off to Guanzon. Falls down and makes the jumper. Guanzon gets her first points of this one, and a jump ball called. As right after making the mid-range jumper, she shows that she's here to play defense too, and wins the ball right back.
So clearly Mohawk trying to suffocate this Niagara team as they've been, like you said, in that full press and very aggressive strategy so far from the returning champs.
Down low Williams, back to Guanzon, contested three, won't go.
Great setup by
Pereira.
Williams there, though.
Great
Bit of a
setup,
no-looker.
great play. Once again, the Knights come back the other way. Omar Bujak. Teske. Across the last walk for three, won't go. Off of Pereira, off of Sophie and out of play. As the Mountaineers will make 2 more subs. It's the first 2 subs of the game coming in with Sydney Drain. And Selena Chung coming in the game, Matt.
Sydney Drain started the last game, so she's a big part of this team too. One of the returning players that made a huge impact in their championship run last season. So we have some more confusion with the shot clock.
It's a bit of an awkward silence in the whole arena. As we're just waiting for that, Matt.
Yeah, just a lot of messy kind of turnovers to clean up on both ends. I think you can chalk that up, like we said earlier, to just early season adjustment, but so far neither team really settling in 100% and taking over this game.
Yep, so far so good as Shallow makes her first jumper of the game.
Tough contested bucket there from Shallow.
She's been doing, obviously in the last game, and a foul, hard foul on Sydney Drain just coming in. That's a nice little wake-up call for her. Not that she wasn't awake, but
Sure was after that. Good way to get in the game, get involved. So now it looks like we'll have Hannah Kirshner coming into the game for Niagara.
first free throw, nothing but net from Drain.
Drained.
I mean, that's actually perfect. She
Yeah, I
drained
know.
it.
Couldn't ask for a better basketball name, man. Holy cow.
She drains another.
Drains another there.
Making them both to make it a one-point game, and the high press continues for the Mountaineers. Shallow pushing it forward inside, deflected and stolen away. Sophie with the layup is fouled. More free throws for the Mountaineers as they seem to want to get in the bonus early.
And Selena Chung coming out, making a big impact early on, getting in this game and getting the turnover, and now we'll have another set of free throws. Mohawk hasn't scored a lot of points from the field, but they're getting themselves to the line over and over again here in this first quarter.
Causing frustrations for the Knight players and coaching staff. I'm hearing a lot of yelling already in this one. She will miss the first free throw. Sophie makes the second one to tie it up at 6, and a low scoring first quarter, as we said. A lot of turnovers, teams feeling each other out. Shallow once again, passes down low to Teske, no good. Back the other way, Sophie, point guard of this team, outside to Drain. And a turnover there for the Mountaineers. And it
Calling
will
an
be
offensive foul there.
offensive foul.
Sophie.
Knights will regain possession. Pereira back to Shallow. Shallow down low to Teske. Outside in the corner. There's Omar Bujak. Back to Shallow for 3. She's got it. Clutch 3 there from New York Shallow to make it once again a 3-point game. Is Drain. Down low to Williams. Williams fouled and just can't get it to go, but she'll take the free throws.
And you can see the frustration. She's missed quite a few shots in the paint now. She'll get onto the line, break her scoring drought. But early on, the shooting troubles have continued, and they've been bailed out by getting to the line a few times now.
Williams sinks the first one.
And on the other end, Lyric Shallow, again, making her impact felt, draining that 3. And she had Tiffany Williams. Might have been a bit of a miscommunication because Williams had to come all the way out from the inside the key to try to guard that 3 on the line.
Williams makes her second, and once again, it's a 1-point game as Shallow will pick up the ball. As the Mountaineer players will double team her. And a foul called. Did seem that there was contact on Shallow's arms as Vanessa Sophie collects her first and will be subbing off now for Joanna Smith.
Looks like they were trying to set up the trap there, but maybe a little bit overzealous on that double team, and they were able to draw an offensive foul against Mohawk, or a defensive foul against Mohawk, rather.
Yeah, it would have been a great trap if she just didn't get her arm caught up in there. Shallow will inbound. And guarded by Joanna Smith. Just checked into this one. Shallow looking, passes to Teske, deflected away. Some great defense on this inbound play. Shallow took a long time. She couldn't find anyone.
Almost had a time violation there, but they're able to get another shot at it here. So now Shallow will go into the play.
Leah Omar Bujak lays it down low. Teske, that is a travel called. Another turnover will be Mountaineer ball once again. As timeout is called for the Mountaineers. I guess take a little break, catch your breath, regroup, and what has been a just game that's been all over the place. A little bit of hot potato, man.
And not the prettiest 6 minutes of basketball you'll see, as both teams, as we expected, needing a bit of a settling period, bit of a feeling it out period. But yeah, a lot of turnovers and a lot of missed shots inside the paint for this Mohawk Mountaineers offense. So we'll see how they adjust to that and try to get back into their game.
And there's been a lot of positive as well, obviously on the rebounding side, offensive rebounds. We've drawn a lot of fouls, but you got to think if they were able to make some more shots, they'd be in a pretty comfortable lead. So I think that's the message that is being sent to them right now. And if you're the Niagara Knights, I think you will be trying to limit your turnover as much as possible. Try to keep beating that, that offensive press.
Absolutely, and get some buckets in transition, because like we said, this Mohawk team's playing a full press. They're playing aggressive. They're going to try to force as many turnovers as possible, but the downside of that style is that if you don't get the turnover, you leave yourself exposed for the fast break opportunity. So we'll see if they're able to capitalize on some of those chances.
Both teams will now take to the floor after the first timeout called by the Mountaineers. First timeout of this game for either team. Chung inbounds it to Jenna Griffin. She'll give it back to Chung. Cross to Oliver. Oliver with the mid-range jumper. Short rebound inside, won beautifully by Pereira. Now the Knights on the counterattack. Teskey looking for some help outside to Volsey Champagne. Tried to pass it back to Teskey, but another giveaway, and the Mountaineers will happily reclaim the ball back.
Looks like Pereira in a bit of discomfort there is going to need to sub out. Bit of delay on the horn there, but she's going to come out.
Seemed to hit her head there, so she will be coming off with Emma Venditelli coming back onto this one. Griffin once again. We'll start off the Chung. Inside to Oliver. Oliver attacks, lays it up. Short again, just on the side. Tried to get it back. She continues to pressure Volsey Champagne. Swatted away and foul by Chung. She reached in just a bit too much.
Dakai now checking into the game for her first time, and Oliver will come out. Don't want to get her into foul trouble early on, as she was such a big part of this team last year and early in the season against Redeemer.
Once again, the inbound will be on its way and put into Omar Bujak. Stuck in the corner, able to get out. Passes it across into Telly. Back to Bujak. Teskey open in the middle. Does find her, but it's swatted away. Great defense so far from the Mountaineers.
Yeah, that was really suffocating defense. There was really nowhere to go. And now Niagara's going to have to come up with some kind of set play here with just 7 seconds left on the shot clock.
You need, obviously, a little bit of time, but still you'll want a quick shot, maybe a quick drive to the layup. Once again, inbound in from Volsey Champagne. Tried to find Teskey, deflected away. Wide open three, just short from Kirchner. It's the Mountaineers on the counterattack once again. In the middle, played down low. The Knights move around, and the layup is good from Dawahi. Her first shots of the game as the press continues.
Excellent ball movement there on the possession, as we have some sort of confusion about.
Foul. Seemed to be a pushing foul onto Rachel Guanzan of the Mountaineers. As it looked like good defense, maybe, leaned in a bit too much. It can happen. But you know what? I think if you're going to get a foul, get a foul on the press like that.
Yeah, and that's going to happen when you're playing as aggressive as Mohawk is in the half court. You're going to pick up some of those transition fouls, and now a travel. And it looks like Omar Bujak was not agreeing with that call, but nevertheless, we're going to have Mohawk ball.
Mountaineers reclaim possession, and forgot to mention they took the lead with that last layup, their first lead of the game, coming from Malik Dawahi, making her first shots in this one. As she gets it once again, attacking, kicks it out, open three is good. Smith from the corner.
First three ball of the game for Mohawk.
Big ovation of that as Blue Jack puts up that layup. Won't go. Nice rebound from Chung. Chung does wait. Back out to Smith. Smith cuts the inside and lays it in. Great finish from her. The Mountaineers now making bucket after bucket. Now Shallow trying to dribble through the entire team and nearly succeeds in doing it. Still going around looking for some help. Shallow into the corner for three. Kirchner makes it to halt the Mountaineer run.
They respond well. Drain kind of got lost defensively there. She was fighting through a screen and then ended up leaving the man open at the three-point line. Is a miss
Wide
there.
open mid-range shot, Mac just goes off. Smith now. Outside, open corner three. Just off, big rebound. Right there from Dawahi, who's come off the bench with tons of energy. The Mountaineers just can't quite, they're starting to make their shots. Obviously, you're going to miss some. We're all human beings, even at this elite college level.
Yeah, it looks like they're settling into their game now. Made a few different subs, seem to be working out for them. Smith came in, drained that three, and then came back with a nice mid-range shot to give the Mountaineers the lead they're enjoying now, which is 3 points, so still tight game.
Make her first free throw as the Mountaineers are in the bonus already in the first quarter, so all those fouls do add up, and there is a reason why you shouldn't foul the other teams. As the second free throw is off, battle for the rebound as it is Laszlock who just subbed on and gets up with it. Shallow with the layup, won't go. Another battle for the rebound, back out. Open three is good. Once again, coming from Hannah Kirchner. She makes back-to-back triples. But once again, the Mountaineers come right back on transition as Gwanzan with the layup.
Quick response from Mohawk, but what an effort played by Laszlock there to keep that alive as Drain's going to have an open shot.
And she will make it right off the interception. Timeout is called from the Knights, and
What a
well-needed
series.
timeout.
What a series. They had an amazing offensive possession to get a three of their own, and then Mohawk just with an onslaught there, forcing a turnover, battling hard in the paint, and they enjoy a 5-point lead at the end of all that.
I think an onslaught is a good way to describe it, as even when the Knights were able to get a three of their own, the Mountaineers continued their press and just looked a lot faster. As the shots continue to fall, Matt, we could be looking at a good victory for the Mountaineers. Obviously, still early in this one, up by 5, but they're starting to settle into this game.
I think when you're playing one of these early season games, when the basketball isn't the prettiest and turnovers are aplenty, coming out of this first quarter with a lead would be huge. Kind of keep yourself on a good foot, because you never know, especially being in the bonus now, that puts them in a really good position to kind of settle into the game. They don't have to try to force fouls. They don't have to drive to the net too often, because they're going to get their opportunities at the line now.
Obviously, being in the bonus, they're after struggling maybe from the field early on in this game, starting to make shots, starting to make some threes. A lot of positives, as we've been saying, to start this game, as we will look to finish off the first quarter as the Mountaineers press, which has worked very well so far, will continue. So we'll see Champaign with the inbound once again. And you can see right there, Rachel Gwanzan not even having her back to the ball, as well as Sydney Drain. The press continues. Champaign gives it away. Intercepted by Dawahi. Passes across to Gwanzan with the layup.
Absolutely relentless half-course defense, leading to a beautiful, beautiful bucket there.
Shallow's layup won't go, and great defense from Dawahi. Gwanzan holding on to it. Across to Drain. Sydney Drain looks, waits, still with it. across. Guanzan doesn't shoot it. Back out. Dawahi inside. Passes it out. Open three. Off the mark. Rebounded. Laid up and in from Drain. Even though an air ball was committed, good luck. He'll take the 2 points as we head into the last minute of this quarter, Matt.
That was great heads-up play by Drain just to keep with it and get the offensive board and get another couple of points here as the lead is growing on this Mountaineers run.
New York Shallow, as we've been saying, the main offensive contributor so far in this season, as it's stolen away. Jump ball. Guanzan will recover possession for the Mountaineers. And they've done a good job. Obviously, Shallow has made a few shots, but they've done a good job containing it.
It's been a great effort quarter coming back from a tough opening couple minutes shooting-wise, and now they're generating all kinds of turnovers and all kinds of pressure that's got them up 9 points here.
And on a bit of a run so far to end this quarter after, maybe starting off a little bit slow. It's been all Mountaineers since about the halfway mark of this quarter. As more subs will come on, Sydney Drain will come off for the first time. It's Kate Ross checking in, and Drain, what a great outing for her. Just comes in, plays a few minutes, gets a couple of points, plays some great defense.
That was a great spark plug off the bench there for that entire run.
Has to heave it up at the end of the 24-second shot clock. The Mountaineers pressing immediately. Down low, Ross. Ross kicks it out to Guanzan. She puts up the three, short. She battles, and Ross able to get the rebound, or not quite, as that one does go out of play. Surprising no foul. I'm surprised that no foul was called there, but it will be Knights ball with 20 seconds to go. Shot clock now off. Mountaineer pressure continues. Now Shallow has a chance maybe at an open layup. Is blocked, but foul called onto Dawahi. So will be 2 free throws coming up for Lyric Shallow.
Oliver's coming back into the game now. Dawahi's coming out. She had a great impact as well. All these players coming off the bench for Mohawk so far have had a great impact on this game. A lot of energy, and if you're going to play full press, you're going to need to keep your legs fresh, which Mohawk has pretty much essentially played that strategy the entire quarter, and it's worked out well for them so far, I'd say.
Yeah, you're going to need to stay fresh, and if you get an early foul, you'll probably get subbed out. That is just the way basketball is played at this level for both teams, probably for every team. As Shallow makes both of her layups, the Mountaineers will hopefully get the final shot. It'll be 10 seconds left. Guanzan with the crowd counting it down. Down low to Oliver. She is fouled and will get free throws because of the bonus with 3.3 to go in the quarter. Actually, no, sorry, must have gone out of play. 3 seconds. Guanzan looking, trying to find anyone. Passes it inside to Chung. No shot available. So the Knights able to smother in. But if you're the Mountaineers, you'll be happy with this nice lead, as they're up by 7, Matt.
Yeah, quite the eventful quarter. Lots of turnovers. Obviously, the Knights getting into a bit of foul trouble. They're getting the bonus kind of halfway through this one. But yeah, I agree. If you're Mohawk, you got to be happy with the way you turned it around. Felt like for that first 2-3 minutes they couldn't pay for a bucket. It was just the shooting was rough, and then they got some different players in the rotation, and things really turned around. And especially the points off of the press, off the turnovers, really swung the momentum in this one.
Yeah, I mean, they've been dominant on the rebounding side. The press has been excellent. Tons of steals, tons of interceptions. And, you'll just be looking at the shooting. Once the shooting continues, it's been looking good, especially near the end of that quarter. Shooting can continue to put some points on the board, and, you could be looking at a 10-point, 15-point lead.
Yes, especially when Niagara's struggled. They're towards the bottom of the league. Obviously, it's still early on in terms of shooting percentage, but they had a team shooting percentage of just 27 coming into this game. So if you can get up early, that this young Niagara squad might have trouble, getting on a roll. So really, capitalizing when you do have a run going, it's going to be huge for this Mountaineers squad.
And already some frustration from the Knights bench. I don't know about you, Matt, but I've heard the coaches getting very vocal at the referees, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, see if any technicals are given out. so far, fouls both ways. Obviously, the Mountaineers are in the bonus, so any foul committed will result in free throw shots. And they've looked good from the stripe, only missed really one or two. As
Yeah, it's solid free throw shooting for sure, which is going to really kind of set the edge for them. Like you said, well, they're in the bonus here for an entire quarter.
both teams taking back to the court to start this second quarter. And we'll have to see what adjustments are made from both sides. Thanks to coaches, both head coaches, the entire coaching staffs, and a lot of positives for both teams to look at as we're underway. The Mountaineers will start with it. Kate Ross inbounding to Vanessa Sophie. We are ready to get underway. 10-minute quarters. So about at the end of this, you played an hour. As Ross puts it down low to Williams. Back out to Sophie. Corner Ross. Sophie once again looking. Trying to find anyone as Doris just subbed in. Ross inside. Outside to Williams. And out of play. As it did seem like, even from our angle, that she probably did step out of bounds.
Hard to tell from here, but yeah, like you said, it looked fairly blatant, even from our limited view.
Megan Doris is checked in for the Mountaineers. There's once again Lyric Shallow. Passes it across to Pereira. Pereira to Shallow. Shallow trying to drive inside. Outside. Teskey for three. Won't go. Rebounded by Oliver. Kendra Oliver bringing up the ball. Takes the mid-range shot and drains the mid-range shot to finally get her first points, at least from the mid-range side. Shallow continues to be double-teamed in this trap. Pereira back out to Venditelli. Venditelli double screen there from the Knights. She passes it off to Shallow. Shallow drives inside. Layup won't go. Will be called a blocking foul, as probably couple too many steps there as we look back at that beautiful mid-range shot from Oliver.
Be huge to get Oliver going here, even though you're up by 9 points. You want to get your best scorer into this game to maintain the momentum.
Definitely, his first free throw is no good, so maybe ball don't lie. Maybe there was not a foul.
Maybe not.
I do think there was, though.
I think there was, but maybe the basketball gods are just giving Mohawk a bit of a favor here.
We'll make the second one,
Maybe
so
not.
maybe not. You'll take the
the one
missing
for
one.
sure.
Once again, wide open three for Doris. Off the mark in her first attempt. Rebound Shallow. She continues to get pressed. Clearly the offensive catalyst for this Knights team. Continues to bring it up on the screen. Puts up the jumper and will make it. Nothing but net as the Knights continue to add on. Now the lead only 6 as Kate Ross. Outside in the corner, Doris. Pass away, but stolen away by Shallow. She continues with speed down the lane. Thought about this shot. Great defense by Sophie. Continues to be in a one-on-one against Sophie. Clearly is the defensive matchup. Turning fadeaway won't go. Rebounded by Oliver. Kendra Oliver. To Megan Doris. Back to Oliver. Megan Doris with it, waiting. Down low to Williams, jumper, won't go, rebound. Battle between Oliver and Shallow. And the jump ball will be given to the Knights. A substitution being made. Doris will be coming off for Jenna Griffin, who played a lot in the first quarter.
Tiffany Williams' shooting struggle still continuing, as she couldn't make that baseline jumper fall there, but I don't doubt they will stop feeding them if we have a turnover here.
It's Griffin with the steal. That one swatted away, and it will be Mountaineer ball. As she comes off the bench and immediately with some impact, as we've talked about these bench players. I mean, it's like they're running a marathon to warm up because they come in and immediately have some sort of impact. As down low, wide open shot, just wouldn't roll for Oliver. In the battle for the rebounders, we do have a Knights player down.
It's Teskey down there. Didn't quite see what happened, but there was a lot of contact in the paint. We'll get a look at what may have caused it here, perhaps.
Clutching her ankle, may have landed wrong. Maybe someone may have stepped on her. So we'll take a little injury timeout. Both teams will get a chance. Have a nice breather as we look back on some of these great shots from Lyric Shallow. Get a nice look at each bench. You know, the nice packed out crowd, as we said, on a Saturday early. So far, you know, maybe some people getting ready for the big Blue Jays game tonight, but it's nice to see some fans and a bunch with some Blue Jay jerseys.
And like you're saying, Lyric Shallow has clearly been the catalyst for the offense from this Niagara team. They're feeding her. Like we said, she put up 17 points in the loss against in their last game against Conestoga. But she really was the one offensive highlight, and you can really tell she's a leader on this team. She's a second year, so one of the few returning players. So clearly they've had time as Teskey is up on her feet, needing a little bit of assistance, but nice to see that she will be able to walk it off at least a little bit, even though she's aided.
Probably just an ankle sprain, nothing major she's laughing about, and she's able to walk it off, obviously with assistance, but a little bit of ice. Give it a week, should be ready to go. Maybe she'll come back in the game, as we've seen in the past when we've seen injuries. Players just come back in the game. It's kind of strange.
We'll wish her all the best.
That is correct, as once again the press will continue for the Mountaineers. Actually only one player up, that is Sophie, but a bit of a zone defense to not allow any big press or any big pressure from the Knights as they're able to break through. Once again, it is Venditelli. Outside to Shallow. Lyric Shallow. And a foul called onto Griffin.
She was a little aggressive there, but I think that's the name of the game for this Mohawk defense, is they're all kind of jittering out there, trying to get any sort of turnover generated.
Shallow will find Pereira, nearly intercepted there by Sophie. Outside Venditelli. Puts it down low, open shot, won't go this time. It's finally Kirchner misses. Probably a sigh of relief for this Mountaineer defense, as Sophie will play it down low to Williams, and she'll finally get her first bucket, and that's got to feel good.
Got to feel good. Great feed into the paint, and like you said, Williams finally breaking her streak there. She fights for that and generates a steal.
Big turnover there, as once again Sophie down the lane, layup won't go. Williams able to get the rebound. She'll play it out to Griffin for three. Doesn't seem to be off the mark, just the side. Pereira on the counter attack now. Will be looking for some sort of help. Does get a screen from Shallow. Will pull it up the three short, and the Mountaineers will be happy to let that one go out of play. But to get Williams going, finally making her first points, and now confidence will be flowing. And right after that, she got the steal and caused that turnover.
Mohawks back up 8 points. Still close. If this Niagara team get on a run, they could close this deficit up, but Mohawk looking like they're kind of settling into the driver's seat of this game to this point.
Definitely feels a little bit too close for comfort so far. Obviously up by 8. Feels good, but definitely want to add on as another foul is called on the Knights.
That one going against Kirchner there for the hold.
Williams will be the inbounder as multiple subs coming in or getting ready for the Mountaineers. Now is Kate Ross. Will play it down low. Chance for the shot. Layup won't go. Another rebound and easy for Malak Dawahi as she makes another one.
Great second chance effort as a Mohawk player goes down hard there. That's Griffin. But Dawahi pump faked, missed the initial shot, and then was able to collect her own rebound for a score to get this lead back up to 10 points.
Another offensive foul. This on Griffin able to get the charge there. Dawahi has looked very good. Again, she didn't start this game, but came on pretty early in the first quarter and has made a bunch of layups. Obviously on that one, that was just a hustle point. You missed the shot, she beat everyone to the rebound.
Absolutely, kind of caught those Niagara players ball watching a little bit there, and she had a nice heads-up play. Just a sign of a good veteran player there.
Good veteran player, and something we've seen a lot in this game already. The rebounding for the Mountaineers has been terrific as Guanzan outside, out of the three. Dawahi down low, looking, passes outside in the corner, drain. Back to Guanzan for three, off the rim, but nice and easy rebound, easy shot for Joanna Smith. As once again, it just seems like the Knights don't want it as much as the Mountaineers, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, when you're dominating the offensive glass like Mohawk has so far, is they're going to give up a bit of a transition opportunity here. So there you go. You see the disadvantage of that full press is there were two Niagara players pretty much wide open. But yeah, when you're dominating the offensive glass, you're going to see a big swing in points in your favor.
Big swing of points as Smith wide open three again, just short. Rebound by Shallow, but she'll just dribble it out off the pressure from the Mountaineers as Dawahi and Drain able to force that turnover. As the lead stays 32-22, a 10-point lead.
Ebony Horton coming into the game for Niagara now.
Inbound by Selena Chung. Looking, will find at the top Guanzan, but travel is called. She did seem to take a few steps there on the catch. The Knights will regain possession, but the press continues for the Mountaineers. Clearly not feeling any fatigue yet, haven't shown it.
And you know they're going to dig deep into their rotation on the bench, but even then these players, like you said, not showing any signs of fatigue. And he's going to call Guanzan on a push there. And we have a timeout for Mohawk now.
It seems to be a miscue there from someone as a fake timeout was called.
Phantom timeout.
It's almost Halloween, so a ghost timeout, a phantom timeout.
That's okay. Play's going to go resume once we get the shot clock reset here.
As you can see, ready, the men's side getting ready for their game. And in the crowd, a lot of different sports Mohawk alumni. I see some volleyball players, probably a lot of different people that just don't recognize from being all the way back here. So getting ready to go once again.
It's nice to be up close and personal with everybody.
It is. It's rare for us to be this close as Bujak will lose the ball, stolen away by Smith. A battle for it in a 1 versus 2 situation, but the Mountaineers will regain possession. As the inbound will be right in front of us. And it will be Sydney Drain to recover this one. As we wait, we do have a replay here of the steal. Maybe a bit of a miscue on the dribble by Bujak, but credit Joanna Smith for going in. You know, a lot of people could be nervous. Obviously, there's a lot of contact, but no fear from her. She's with it now, passes it outside to Guanzan. Open corner three, off the front rim, rebounded beautifully by Chung. Layup is good from Dawahi, who continues her great play. As the Mountaineer lead continues to grow, now up to 12. A Shallow again out of play, turnover for the Mountaineers. That's her second turnover in a minute. The Mountaineers press continues, and as we said, she's been the offensive focal point. Already had a good game so far, so the Mountaineers can limit her possessions. Side Smith finds Drain. Drain to Guanzan, open three, makes them pay. Big ovation for her as this time on the open three match, she got it all.
And the press does not stop as Drain battles for the ball. She's going to get called for the foul there. But instantly they all, I mean, Guanzan had about 2 seconds to celebrate that, and then it was all hands on deck again for that press. And I mean, they're getting in a little bit of foul trouble, but overall, more times than not, they're coming away with a free extra possession.
And I love that. When I played high school basketball, a little bit different. I'm not comparing myself, but that's what we did. Our coach would get pretty mad if we celebrated too much after our shots. We'd forget to be in a press. The Mountaineers women have not forgotten their press. Has open shot there, just off the rim from Horton. Counterattack for the Mountaineers, down low to Smith. Does lose it off the feed from Drain. Pereira now on the fast break for the Knights. Open is shallow for three. Off the front rim, rebound Bujak. She'll put up the layup, won't go. Rebound for Dawahi. So now the Mountaineers will come right back immediately. Guanzan.
Pace picking
Smith.
up here.
Pace is picking up as Dawahi once again does go down. No foul called. Seems like a ghost may have tripped her. Open three is good. Nothing but net for Selena Chung.
What a splash that was, and there's some confusion here now.
As another miscommunication. Substitution is being made, a bit confusing if there's a timeout or a sub. As it will be Kira Teske, who's played a lot of this game already, coming back on. And it's stolen away. Foul is called on the Knights, as it did seem to be a foul call on the Knights, as Sydney Drain able to steal that one and then was absolutely rocked, Matt.
Hard foul there, yeah.
Inbound will be taken by Dawahi, who to me has been probably the MVP of this game. She's been everywhere.
I think she's been that impact player for sure. She turned the game around, I would say, coming in. Although it was only a couple of minutes, they were struggling early on. Once she was in, as we'll get a splash right there. So sweet, so sweet.
Splashed indeed from Guanzan, making the Knights defense pay once again. As the press continues, this time on Pereira, she'll have to find shallow. They'll have to make it out of their half, and they do. Open layup there. Nice finish for Ebony Horton.
I mean, that's going to be the risk you're running when you go full press, is that they've been bitten on a couple transition buckets, but if you're coming up with the ball more times than not, I don't think it really matters.
Now down low, Dawahi is fouled from behind her head. Clearly hit her there, and she'll be taking those free throws as we see a replay of Guanzan's second straight three, or sorry, not Guanzan, sorry, of Chung's first three. First shot, she will be subbed off, but great job from her getting on those rebounds offensively and defensively, and I'm sure you love to see her making a three.
Absolutely. And Megan Doris checking into the game from Mohawk now.
Coming back in for her second time. His first free throw is good from Dawahi. Second one, nice and easy for her. As once again, the press, we said it sounded like a broken record, but it's actually the opposite, a good record.
It's a good record to hear, man. If you're going to have a skip on a record, it couldn't be a better part than that. Yeah, oh, Lyric Shallow just not able to finish that one.
The lid is closed this time for the Knights as Guanzan once again to Drain. Drain down low to Doris, back out to Guanzan. Dawahi, back to Drain. Corner Smith, she'll attack. Little floater is good. The lead continues to get bigger as the press once again continues, and out of play does go Pereira.
We're gonna have a timeout.
Timeout is being called for the Knights. A big run from the Mountaineers, now up by 17, Matt. What a difference in these two quarters. I mean, as we said, it looked like from the end of the first quarter that we could be heading towards this, but Mountaineers have made sure we have headed toward this as we look again at that Smith layup. Nice little floater, Matt.
I mean, yeah, like you said, first quarter, very tight game. Niagara even arguably playing the better, at least first half of that quarter. And now I think you're seeing Mohawk's championship pedigree, if I can say that. You know, they know what it takes to win big games, and they're bringing it even in these, you know, early season games. So, you know, I think they're just showing that they have that next gear, they have that next level. We're going to see a replay of that last mid-range floater there sinking in. And yeah, they're just doing all the little things, generating the turnovers, dominating the offensive glass, and that's what it's going to take to win, and it's hard for this inexperienced Niagara team to combat that.
You know, I love the emphasis on dominating because it really has been dominant. I mean, heard a lot of really frustrations coming from the Knights bench, maybe towards the refereeing, which I don't think has been bad. I mean, maybe you could say one of the 50-50s could have gone the other way, but really, if you're going to blame anyone, you got to look at yourselves, because the first quarter, Mountaineers were missing a lot of shots. The Knights could have easily gone on and gotten a bigger lead.
They could have. They were, like we said, they were really snake bitten early on, especially Tiffany Williams and even Oliver in the paint were just not able to find a way to score, but they didn't capitalize, and now that Mohawk's on, it's going to be hard to come back from this deficit unless they can find a way to limit the turnovers, especially in transition.
Yeah, the lead can continue to balloon on a big run from the Mountaineers. Once again, it will be Dawahi down low, outside. Smith now with it, attacking with the layup is good. Another floater for Smith off the assist coming from Doris. The press continues once again. Pereira with some space will finally get out of that press. Now we'll try to set up the offense with Shallow. Eric Shallow looking for some sort of cutters. No movement coming from these Knights. Shallow forced to just dribble in. And seemed to be an interception once again. Jump ball as the Knights will control possession. Another substitution being made for the Mountaineers.
And Shallow is looking a little frustrated. Like you said, she was calling for some kind of movement, but wasn't really seeing anything. Maybe they are going to have to try to work some offense off of a pick and roll or just get something going, because right now it's tough sledding for this Niagara offense.
Yeah, just something positive as Kate Ross has checked in. Foul is called. Foul called on the Knights. Offensive foul. Seemed to be some contact made. As we heard a bit of the referee's description, someone had their hands on someone. The Mountaineers will be happy to regain possession as Quanzan passes it across to Doris. Doris to Smith down low. Smith back to Ross. Lefty layup won't go. Good defense from the Knights. Foul call on Smith. Holding is the Knights will get possession back, and so really the only thing the Mountaineers need to be careful of is not to take too many fouls. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't really been too undisciplined, I'd say, but obviously when you're up big and once you're getting all those turnovers generated, it's hard not to kind of play even more aggressive, going after, every kind of possible loose ball situation. But I think so far they've towed the line well.
Yeah, that'd be a way for the Knights to get back in the game, as first free throw from Boise Champaign is no good. Second one will roll, as the Mountaineers will make a sub once again, and it will be Rachel Granzan coming off after a great couple three-pointers for her in that second quarter. As Anna Griffin checks up. There's the three off the mark. Smith does get a hand on it, but it will be Knights' ball. Just couldn't quite get onto that.
Just a little check-in on the stats for the offensive rebounds. It's 11-4 in favor of Mohawk, which they've already eclipsed their entire total from the last game. Is now Niagara's in transition here.
Layup no good. Good job by Joanna Smith with the pressure. Ross able to get that rebound as well, and the Mountaineers will take back possession in what a surefire 3-on-1. You'd think, in soccer, hockey, basketball, that's usually points on the board. Sadly for the Knights and somehow for the Mountaineers, no points on the board.
Yeah, 3-on-1 in just about any sport is never a good sign, but definitely frustrating to not come away with a bucket when you've had so little space offensively.
Charge there. Great defense coming from Boise Champaign on Dawahi, as Dawahi's been dominant down low and made a lot of great moves, and this time Boise Champaign gets the better of her as she will be inbounding once again. Mountaineers have 3 women now ahead on the press. Sometimes they've had only 1, and then they've clogged up the middle. This time 3 ahead is Champaign looking, will put up the mid-range shot and banks it in.
Nice looking floater there.
Wide open is Smith. Smith tried to find Dawahi, couldn't quite. Will find Doris. Layup, big foul there. It's clearly her arm was racked as she tried to get the layup to come up. She will have 2 free throws.
Smith really been all over this game. You can tell she's one of the highest paced players they have, and she's been in transition. She's been generating turnovers and even been doing some good work on the offensive glass.
Maybe your MVP candidate so far, Matt.
Might be.
Doris makes both free throws seemingly easily. It's always very quiet during the free throws. Usually I expect some big SoundCloud rapper, maybe some clapping, but not at all. Is Smith once again with the steal. Now goes for the layup. Good defense though from Shallow. She got all of the ball, and he'll take that obviously. In a 3-on-1, could have maybe passed it off, but did have the lane, and he'll take the free throws. Williams will be coming back on. For this time Dawahi, as she will take the inbound. Nearing the end of the first half. Mountaineers sitting comfortably in a 21-point lead. Smith upstairs to Griffin. Open Ross, mid-range just doesn't go in, but Williams bullies her way to the ball and is fouled. Is it Williams? Is it Shaquille O'Neal, Matt?
It's hard to say. She absolutely looked dominant there, and yet another offensive board for this team. And yeah, she just played bully ball there, and now she's going to get to the line, and I think she'll fare a little bit better than our boy Shaq does at the line, if I had to guess.
I would hope so, and this is just another reason why I'm happy to be at the commentary desk and not playing.
Absolutely.
Because players like Tiffany Williams would body my skinny body, and it's very scary.
Yeah, no, she is definitely a force to be reckoned with in the paint.
She makes both of her free throws, and so maybe not Shaquille O'Neal, maybe Wembayama. A stronger, more built Victor Wembayama. As another foul is called on the Mountaineers. But again, these are fouls I think that no one's going to be upset about. Shooting fouls, you'll be upset. If you're going to put a lot of pressure and you're just trying to get the ball back, force a turnover, no one's going to be upset. I'll tell you, head coach, or no, Mihai Raducanu has not complained about any of those fouls.
No, like you said, I mean, a shooting foul, maybe you get a little bit of frustration, but if your game plan is this full press, all go, all attack all the time kind of offense, that's just going to be the price you're paying, and it frankly hasn't really hurt this Mohawk squad too badly.
No, it hasn't. We're looking at 20 seconds left in the second quarter in this first half. First free throw from Aaliyah Pereira is good. Second one as well, nothing but net. As final sub for the Mountaineers with Megan Fox checking into her first time. It is not the Megan Fox, but maybe it is another famous Megan Fox.
And we'll see how she contributes here, as that should be the last possession. Looking to maybe getting the pick and roll with Williams.
Griffin does pass it off. Ross open, what a great fake. Puts up the mid-range and makes it. Great pump fake from her. Is 5 seconds to go. Pereira, as that is a travel committed.
So a chance maybe for a Hail Mary bucket here at the end to extend that lead even further. They're already sitting on a 23-point lead, but there'll be a timeout to talk this one over.
I like the play calling. This is your chance to practice those inbound plays. Obviously, it's the second quarter at an end of the second quarter, but in the fourth quarter, if it's a tie game, close game, you're gonna have to run these plays.
Absolutely.
And what a great chance to try it out.
And if you're a coach, especially at this level, I think your opportunities to maybe run a set play are few and far between. So, especially if you're the assistant coach here, it looks like Mary Ingrabelli might be getting looks like Jan Fajardo might be getting a chance to draw something up for this squad. But I mean, we're looking at what? We got a second left here. It's gonna have to be
quick shot.
Quick
a
shot.
Bit of a Derek Fisher, maybe a quick catch and shoot. I once saw Luka Doncic do that against the Blazers back when he was on the Mavericks. Nice little catch and shoot three, rainbow shot.
So we'll see who they target with that catch and shoot play.
Yes, we will. But as we said, coming off a championship in the last season, banner hanging in the rafters, this team definitely has a play like this, for a big moment, big shot.
Look for it maybe to go to Kate Ross here, down in the corner.
Train looking, down low to Williams, has to put it up, won't go, but you like the effort, nice little lob play, and that's what you have to do, either a quick shot or a lob is all smiles and laughs for this Mountaineer side.
Well, I think it's all smiles and laughs because you're up 23 points, and that's really not going to kill you too much. There's a couple of stats from that first half I wanted to really highlight. First of all, bench points, 33 for this Mohawk team, so over half of their points coming from bench players. Like we said, Dawahi making a big impact coming off the bench, among others. And the other one is turnovers, 14 turnovers generated in that half. And points off of turnovers, we're looking at 15 points. So
Jeez.
that's really kind of where the magic is we'll get a look at some highlights from that first half.
If you're just joining us, the Mountaineers, after back and forth first half and having a 8-point cushion at the end of it, in the first quarter, they blew it open in the second quarter, absolutely dominated the bench, playing crucial roles. It was the high press, the turnovers, and making those clutch threes that ballooned this lead to 29-52. I mean, absolutely dominant. And we talked about it last season. Niagara were the best team in terms of record, 14-2. They beat the Mountaineers twice. It wasn't blowouts in either game, but they won both times. But Mountaineers looking to change things now that they're the champs. So good start for them in this one. And we'll take a quick break. Go get some food. Maybe go get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do, and we'll be right back. This is Harrison Myers and Matt Jandrew, and you're watching Mohawk Mountaineers basketball. Welcome back, everyone, to more Mohawk Mountaineer basketball. We're back at the Mohawk College at the D-Bark. My name is Harrison Myers. I'm joined once again by Matt Jandrew. Yes, I'm joined by Matt Jandrew. This is awesome. Matt, what can you say about the first half that we haven't already said?
Well, like you said, Harrison, we've been saying it all that entire second half, like a bit of a broken record, but two big things that led to this Mohawk Mountaineers 26-point lead: offensive rebounds and turnovers and points off of turnovers. They've got 12 offensive rebounds. We had, like your MVP, Dahai, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, generated the most turnovers for the Mohawk team in that half. She was really an MVP and part of that bench mob mentality that just came out and really set the tone for this entire Mountaineer squad, and kind of the reason they're sitting with the lead they are right now.
You got to give credit to the coaching staff. They saw some struggles offensively. You put in the bench, and the bench scores points. Then the starters come back in, they get going, and then everybody's getting going. So we are about to get underway here in the second half, in the third quarter.
And 11-5 in second chance points as well in favor of Mohawk in that half. So over double what Niagara was able to generate. And we'll see if that trend continues as we get ready to start the second half here.
You know, we saw it a few times on the rebounding side. It just seemed like the Mountaineers wanted it more. They were ready to go and get those rebounds immediately. We saw Dawahi do that a couple of times, but it was the entire team, and it was just an impressive display.
And even Kendra Oliver, who only has 2 points, their leading scorer, but she's also contributed 5 rebounds in that half. So everyone's getting involved, from the last man in the rotation to, you know, their starting 5.
Sophie across to Griffin. Griffin up ahead to Guanzan. She'll play it down low to Sophie with the layup. Does get down. Williams almost able to reach and get that rebound, which it feels like she might have 30 rebounds in this game. So that one's stolen away immediately by the Mountaineers. Guanzan the other way. We'll wait. Finds Griffin. Griffin wide open. Sophie doesn't shoot it. Sophie waiting. We'll try to find Williams in the post. Chooses not to. Griffin for 3. Off the rim and out. Williams with the rebound once again. Back out to Sophie as the Mountaineers will reset. Griffin attacking. Back out. Guanzan for 3. Just short on the left. Williams will finally not be able to get that rebound. But another giveaway from the Knights as Griffin outside. Sophie will take the shot. Short. Rebound Oliver. Kendra Oliver battling for it. Loses it. Does get it back. Oliver, couple dribble moves, thought about the mid-range shot. Down low to Williams. Williams turns with the layup, and finally she's getting those layups. I think that one open one is now getting her going.
Absolutely, and the script is staying the same so far in this early part of the third quarter, as they are getting more second chance points and more offensive rebounds.
Outside, it is Venditelli. Puts it in the corner to Shallow for 3. Off the rim and out. Rebound Oliver. It seems like Oliver and Williams are like a big 2 down low. Maybe like a Shaq and Hakeem Olajuwon just can't seem to be stopped. Sophie loses it, does get it back. Guanzan, open mid-range shot. Off the rim and out. Rebound Shallow. Lyric Shallow getting double teamed by Griffin and Oliver. It's deflected. Oliver can't get it, but Griffin can. Looking for some assistance. Doesn't need any. Goes for the layup. Can't quite make it, and once again, Lyric Shallow now in a 3-on-2 situation. Shallow attacking, swatted away by Sophie. A little bit of a James Harden no-look swat.
And this smothering Mohawk defense has just come out hot again in the start of this third quarter, and it's really going to be tough for Niagara to get back in this game unless they can clean up those turnovers.
Is now a 28-point lead for the Mountaineers, just absolutely dominant. Is top of the key. Venditelli will go for the layup and will get it to go.
Good drive there to get into the paint for Venditelli.
Sophie once again with it. Gives it to Griffin, down low. Williams won't go. Rebound. Still won't go. Another rebound for Oliver. She'll get her second opportunity.
And I think that is the picture-perfect story of this game. If you want to know what has led to the Mountaineers' success, that play right there by Oliver pretty much sums it up perfectly.
Shallow makes another three. After missing her last couple shots, she's able to finally get an open look through that tough Mountaineer defense. So Vanessa Sophie, Jenna Griffin. Griffin looking, finds Rachel Guanzan. Back down low to Williams. Williams, it's too easy. The little jump hook is good. And
now-
you
now-
got to double her.
Yeah, and she has settled into her game. That efficient shooting that she showed all last year is back, and that is just another element that Niagara's going to have to contest with now.
A reach-in maybe there from Vanessa Sophie. Foul call on her with substitutions being made for the Mountaineers. Malik Dawahi will be coming back into this one.
She had a great half, like we said, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, all over the score sheet, coming off the bench.
Bit of a point forward. She's been holding the ball at times as well as driving and getting those rebounds as she does come off for Williams. First free throw from Shallow is good as we look back on that great point there from Kendra Oliver. Second chance opportunity. Just as you said, Matt, Mountaineers leading in that category, which is not surprising at all.
No.
His second free throw is good from Lyric Shallows. Once again, Vanessa Sophie.
Credit to
Starting
Lyric
with the ball.
Shallow. She's kept them in it as much as they are. They would not even be nearly, as close as they are. Not that they're close to say, but the points they do have, whether it's been scored by Lyric Shallow or been assisted off of, she has been the catalyst for almost all of their offense.
Foul called on Oliver there. The Knights bench got to be careful. I mean, maybe I've watched too much NBA where technicals go flying at any second, but, there's a lot of chatter. Nothing horrible being said, but definitely frustration towards the officiating, Matt, and we'll have to keep an eye on it.
Well, it's always hard to keep your composure when you're down over 20 points. There's a big block by Oliver.
The rejection.
Get that out of here!
Get it out of here. And I don't think she was saying that, but I think she might have been
She
thinking
was
it.
thinking it. Don't worry. Don't worry. We got you, Kendra. We can say it.
Yes, we can. That was a vicious block. Nonetheless, I think that might have been a pass, actually, but she does not care.
But it's going to go down as a block in the stat sheet.
I hope so.
You know.
Once again, Griffin down low to Oliver. Oliver, nice jab step. Turning around with the jumper, won't go. Can't get the rebound. It's Teskey all over that one. She's back from her injury, Matt. Once again, injuries not affecting any team in any sport we've commentated. Teskey back out to the corner, Venditelli. Venditelli to Teskey. Wide open three for Leslock. Leslock, no good. Outreach pass from Oliver inside, and the layup from Dawahi is Kendra Oliver doing her best Tom Brady impression with that one.
Great fast break bucket there. And yeah, Kendra Oliver getting herself involved. And if the bench mob mentality wasn't scaring you enough, having Kendra Oliver and Tiffany Williams going in the second half is a very scary proposition if you're the Niagara Knights trying to get back into this game.
Oliver got another steal. Wide open three for Griffin. Won't go. Rebound for Teskey. Oliver continuing her pressure. Almost got it away, but she does commit the foul. That would be a technical. She was just upset. And I think head coach, I think the coaching staff for the Mountaineers in general just know that just frustrated, but it'll happen. We're all human beings.
There's been very few things to be frustrated about on this Mohawk side, but clearly Kendra Oliver playing with a lot of emotion, a lot of heart, like I think this whole Mohawk team does, clearly by the way they play, the way they attack.
There's two subs coming in for the Knights, one sub for the Mountaineers. So Oliver will just get a minute just to cool off, In this game, a lot of adrenaline going, and you may have gotten fouled and there was no call because the ref didn't see it. And then, you're called on a foul, you can get pretty pissed off. So it's normal, but get a minute of a great performance so far, especially in the last couple minutes. This technical free throw will be taken by Teskey. She will miss it, but the Knights will hold possession.
One of the few misses for the Knights behind the line has been nearly perfect from that from the free throw stripe so far, but see a rare miss from Teskey there.
So with that missed free throw, does that mean that Kendra Oliver had the right to be upset?
Perhaps, if you believe that the ball don't lie.
If you believe in the basketball gods, whoever, wherever they may be, and I tell you what, the Mountaineers have not needed them today. Dominance defensively on the rebounding side, and this high press, which very impressive. Third quarter, maybe some fatigue showing. Absolutely not for this team. But come the other way are the Knights. Open three from the corner, way off. This is a rare big miss from Kirchner. She's been perfect almost from three. I think only one miss up to this point, so definitely nothing to be worried about for the Knights.
No, but your opportunities to get back in this game when you're almost down 30 points are going to be so few and far between that misses like that are kind of not something you can afford to do too often at this point if you want to have a chance to close this deficit.
Drain finds Griffin. Griffin with the layup, lays it in beautifully with the left hand. And right after she does commit the fouls, her arm did get over the arm of Venditelli. She'll take those 2 points on that nice layup.
And this Mohawk team has no plans to slow down, as even up 29 points, they're still calling for energy, they're still calling for the full press, and that right there is wise. They're not going to get the ball, I don't think, but almost causing yet another turnover.
Well, you know, with the three-point revolution, thanks to Steph Curry, among others, you can come back from basically any deficit. You know, a nice big run, couple of threes. So the Mountaineers probably well aware of that. As a offensive foul called, and the Mountaineers will retake possession.
You sure can come back from anything, but at the same time, it's just that much harder to do when you're not taking care of the basketball, and I think that's been the downfall of the Niagara Knights, unfortunately, in this contest.
That much harder to do, and definitely as the minutes continue to tick and you keep missing out chances to score, it becomes almost mathematically impossible. I'm not that good at math, but I know once a score and the time start to get a little bit dwindler, a little bit bigger, it becomes harder to come back as the Mountaineers will continue to try to find wide open three just off the mark. Rebound somehow the Mountaineers for Chung. She will put it up and put it in.
And Megan Fox came into the game there before that, and she missed that open three.
Wide open Kirchner will play it off. She'll get it right back in a give and go, and a travel is called. Did look like it.
Pretty blatant one there.
Definitely was a travel. Good call from the referees. There's another sub for the Mountaineers being made. Joanna Smith is coming in. And it will be Rachel Guanzan coming off. Starting with the ball now is Sydney Drain. Bring it up, Drain. Finds Chung. On the left side, Chung. Down low to Fox. Fox tried to find Smith, but double dribble is called. Another good call from the referees, who, unlike what the Knights bench might think, I think they've been pretty good so far.
Calling a tight game for sure. Once we get a game clock adjustment here back to 3:46, as the Mountaineers have now extended their lead up above 30 points.
Just impressive stuff, as that outlet pass will not reach the intended target of Seski. As you know, you didn't have Kendra Oliver, you didn't have Tom Brady on your team.
No, it looked more like Zach Wilson out there, unfortunately. Maybe Blake Bortles.
Maybe Patrick Mahomes.
Well, this year maybe, yeah.
It was not Mahomey. That pass is not Mahomey,
No.
Matt.
And that's kind of what you come to expect from Patrick Mahomes.
That is once again the Mountaineers with possession on the inbound play. Chung trying to find anyone, does find Fox. Fox looking for some sort of motion play. Joanna Smith able to get open. Shot clock winding down, and double dribble call once again. This time onto Dawahi is another good call. She just started walking before she started dribbling. As another sub being made, this time for the Knights.
Lyric Shallow coming back in there. Clearly didn't want to leave her off the court too much. She's been such an integral part of the offense they have been able to generate.
Pereira now going inside with the layup. Won't go, but she does get the foul and will get a chance at the line with 2 shots.
Pereira's had a perfect 2 for 2. Just a quick little announcer jinx there from the free throw line as she'll go to fall to 2 and 3 now.
Matt Jandrew showing that he might be a wizard. You're a wizard, Matt.
Perhaps, from time to time.
Time to time. I think that pen that you're hiding is actually a wand. Second free throw is good.
Well, I don't think they need my help at all here. The Mohawk Mountaineers now sitting squarely at a 30-point lead, are well in the driver's seat at this point.
Dawahi attacking inside, finds Smith. Smith against Shallow, going inside as well. Open is Fox. No shot for her though. Fox now almost has it stolen and given away. Great defense from the Knights. Shallow now with it. Mountaineers well aware of her shooting prowess. Won't just let her get an open look. Pereira now. Outside Venditelli. Venditelli did have a cutter, did not make the pass. Goes inside with the layup, won't go. Now down low once again for the Knights. Drain plays it down low. Dawahi with the layup, no good. Shallow now on transition. Lyric Shallow goes inside with the jumper and makes a nice little push off there onto Selena Chung.
Lyric Shallow continuing to be a bright spot on this Niagara squad who's struggled offensively, especially since the start of the second quarter.
Layup does fall. Nifty one there from Sydney Drain. She gets the rolls. Another transition opportunity for Pereira, but this time she slows it down to Shallow. Lyric Shallow barking orders, wanting something to happen. Screens now coming in. Venditelli tries to make her move around Smith and does. Layup won't fall. Rebound Dawahi. Now the Mountaineers with their chance. Fox finds Dawahi once again. Dawahi to Smith. Smith back to Dawahi. Dawahi looking for Drain. Doesn't have her. Chung now with it. Chung into the corner. Drain for 3 and she drains it.
Drained it.
Nothing but net for her to continue to add to this Mountaineer lead. Shallow, no pass, stolen away. Smith back to Fox. Her layup is good.
Call her the Transformer, Megan Fox. The great bucket, adding to their second chance opportunities, points off turnovers, all those categories. That was a pretty straightforward kick, I would say.
Seemed like it, but you'll take the great defense there coming from Dawahi, not to let any easy points come as Fox seemed like she might have been 2 under the bucket almost, under the net, but able to get in a good spot and make that layup, transforming her shot, if you will, Matt.
And the Mountaineers this quarter on a 19-10 run. So a little bit more balanced than the third quarter, which was 31-12 in favor of Mohawk, but still almost doubling the points of Niagara.
Just a rebound there on transition. It is Smith. Will pass it off. No good from Dawahi. Rebound for the Knights.
Don't think Dawahi was ready for that one.
Well, I think it seemed like Joanna Smith would go up for that, but maybe she didn't know she had that much space on her left side. As checked in this game is Omar Bujak. The shot won't get the bounce. A double bounce. It just goes out. Now Chung, outlet pass to Dawahi, but it's just over her head. But maybe not as dominant so far in this third quarter, but when you're up by this much, as long as you're able to still have more points on the board, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, this has been their lowest scoring quarter so far. For either side, it's been the lowest scoring quarter. But if you're Mohawk, that's not really a problem. If you're Niagara, though, it's tough to have 10 minutes left and be looking at almost a 40-point deficit.
You give credit, for the lack of points for both sides to the teams. With some great defense from both teams, it's definitely improved for the Knights in this third quarter. Once again, Pereira looking, will find Shallow, nearly stolen away, but does go off of her, and another turnover credited to the Knights as some great defending from Sydney Drain.
Lyric Shallow showing some frustration on her face. How could you not, I guess, as Mohawk look to get one last bucket in here.
She nearly stole that one away. Down low, Dawahi. Now Drain with it. Drain back to Dawahi. Dawahi making a move around. Can't quite make the layup. And foul is called as the quarter comes to an end.
It'd be I imagine it'd be an inbound. And
so we hear the referee saying we have a full second left. Probably just for the 2 free throws the Knights are in the bonus, and then maybe Mountaineers a chance for the half court, maybe full court heave. And you know, it wouldn't, with all the stuff that's happened, obviously close to Halloween, there's a bit of mysteriousness going on in the air. Maybe we'll see a full court, half court shot.
you never know. Well, obviously, we've seen some big heaves in this game as passes, but we'll see if we get a last-minute huck.
Pereira does make both, and now he had the chance. Doris, or Drain started looking for it. The Mountaineers tried to make it. Well, would have been a good play. I really like that 2 outlet passes. You just didn't have quite the time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the second pass, unfortunately, kind of takes away time, and we'll get a nice little look at some highlights from that third quarter, which saw the Mountaineers get themselves up to a 34-point deficit against the Niagara Knights. Much improved scoring in the paint from both sides. You see a block there from Kendra Oliver. And again, the offensive glass just dominated as we see Skylar Shallow, Lyric Shallow, excuse me, score a 3-point, and then you see Kendra Oliver doing her thing on the offensive boards.
That's what's been the difference, right? It's just offensive rebounds, the turnovers. It's been very dominant for the Mountaineers.
Tiffany Williams making her mark on the game. That was definitely her best quarter, although she played less than half of it. She certainly had her fingerprints all over the early part of that. 3-point there from the Drainer.
I like that. I like that, especially as she's made 2 from maybe even 3 3-pointers, but Mountaineers will be looking to finish this one off, and unless something catastrophic were to happen, you can almost assume they have this one almost basically in mathematically impossible territory.
You'd have to see a Maple Leafs-esque collapse, unfortunately, and that comes from a long-suffering Maple Leafs fan, but you'd have to have a Leafs-level collapse here. I think you're just going to try to stay out of foul trouble and probably put some points up early as we see both Kendra Oliver and Tiffany Williams back into the game.
Once again, the Knights will get their chance. 3-pointer from the corner, no good. Rebound is an offensive rebound for the Knights, but Mountaineers will retake possession as Omar Bujak went all in for that one.
Kendra Oliver may have gotten just a fingertip on that shot attempt to redirect it as it hit off the side of the backboard.
I would not put it past her, Matt. She's been all over the game, obviously already with a block. She's with it now. Lays it off to Doris. Megan Doris. Right it to Sophie. Now down low, Williams with the jump shot. No good. Oliver right there. Outside, Doris for 3. Nothing but net.
Bang! Great way to start this if you are Mohawk. 3-point shooting hasn't been maybe their strongest suit in this game, but they've certainly had their moments, especially in the second half, shooting the 3 ball.
It definitely has been much better after this first half, as long 3 from Pereira won't go. Again, the Knights just don't seem to know what they're doing offensively. A lot of people giving a lot of orders, but no decisions being made. As Oliver for 3. Bang! Yes, sir.
And now they're shooting that 3 ball really well. That's 2 straight 3-pointers as the lead will get up to 40 points for this Mohawk squad.
Kendra Oliver might be looking at, instead of Hakeem, maybe like a Nikola Jokic. She can do it all, as a layup this time is good from Venditelli, who's been very good when going inside.
Almost a bit of a Euro step there.
Indeed, as Sophie finds a wide open shot, won't go. Williams rebound and she puts it in. We'll count that as an assist for Megan Doris.
Well, the stat sheet won't, but we sure will, Megan. Don't worry about it. But there you go. Second chance points, offensive rebounds, bread and butter for this Mohawk team, who's sitting on a huge lead in the fourth.
Shallow able to get that offensive rebound. So Vanessa Sophie guarding her. Able to get the steal and wins it back. Loose ball foul called on Shallow. Mountaineers will regain possession. As Tiffany Williams, after tough first quarter shooting from the field, has looked much better since then. Made most of her shots.
Yeah, she settled into this game really nicely, Harrison. She's when they weren't playing well, you had to wait until the bench players came on and really dominated. But now that you have your starters kind of clicking like they are now, it's really hard for a team to come back from behind when all hands are on deck like they are right now.
Especially how the Mountaineers have not let up in this one, as another three, this time off the mark from Doris. Other way comes Emma Venditelli. Played across to Lyric Shallow. Open three for her. Won't go. Rebound was almost there for Oliver, but Mountaineers still able to regain control. Sophie now with it. Sophie, the point guard of this team, having two fingers up in the air, definitely calling for a play. Pass there to Oliver, intercepted as
Tried to get something over the top there, just not quite enough on it should have been more of an alley-oop toss over her head.
Kate Ross with the giveaway there, just couldn't quite get it over the head of Shallow, just as you said, Matt. It's now corner three for Venditelli is good over Williams. We're looking at a 45-82 Mountaineer lead. Corner is Ross. Ross looking for runners, will decide to dribble in. Kick out to Sophie. Vanessa Sophie has it tipped away there by Emma Venditelli, but stolen away once again. Sophie to Williams, open corner three or side three. Rebound not there for the Mountaineers as Oliver nearly able to get that one, and she did have fingertips on it. As Shallow now on the counter attack. Waiting.
Three ball's really flying in this fourth quarter. But if you're the Niagara Knights, that's kind of got to be your mindset.
Blue Jack's pass is tipped away by Williams, and not a lot of time on the shot clock. As two subs being made for both teams, as checking in for the first time is Lila Davis. Sorry. And that one, violation of the shot clock, as the Mountaineers will retake possession off another turnover from the Knights, who have held the ball a lot better in the second half, but turnovers still aplenty. Vanessa Sophie now to Kendra Oliver, fakes the shot, dribbles in. Thought about passing, will take the mid-range, no good. Williams can't get the rebound there over Emma Laslock. So once again, Benetton is fouled there, I thought, as she just ran into everyone. Mountaineers on the counterattack, the pass to Oliver. Nice flashy pass there off the bench is Lila Davis with a beautiful feed to Kendra Oliver as the lead continues to balloon, Matt.
Yeah, like you said, coming into the game, that's been one of the key factors, is these players coming off the bench and making an immediate impact. Whether it was the first, second, third, or now even in the fourth quarter, fresh players have come in, and probably the nicest pass we've seen all game.
Definitely the nicest passes. They look like a flashy pass without having to do the behind the back. Maybe a little Magic Johnson to the left side. And
sometimes the most fundamental, basic pass, if it's done executed perfectly, can just look so pretty.
First free throw from Boise Champaign is off. She will allow the second one. It will go in, but clearly Emma Laslock there stepped in a bit early. Actually, it will count, even with the violation, as the referee does clarify, it wasn't just us that was confused. It was the Mohawk coaching staff as Oliver continues to do her Nikola Jokic impression. And you know what? I think she's doing a great job of that.
And that'll put the Mountaineers up to 46 points in the paint. So if I told you that stat, you know, after the first 2 minutes of the game, you would have told me I was crazy, but they've really found a way to dominate the interior.
That shot no good. Rebound from the Mountaineers on the transition, and a slap there. I thought that hit the wrist. Referee did not agree with my view there. Chung could have been easily fouled. No call. She will get it back from Sophie. Outside Oliver to Sophie once again. With the shot clock winding down, Sophie goes inside. Foul called on the Knights. She will get 2 free throws.
First free throw opportunity, I believe, this 4th quarter for Mohawk.
First free throw is good. Now any point here is really just to add on. I wouldn't say stat pad, but just continue to run plays.
I mean, you got to respect any opponent's ability to come back at any point, as mathematically unlikely as a Niagara full comeback is. Certainly you're going to want to keep your foot on the gas pedal till the very end.
It's a big role change for the Mountaineers. 4 players coming off, only Selena Chung staying on. As you said, I think it's obviously more respectable to keep trying to create shots even when a big blowout lead than to just hold on to the ball and act like you're superior. And like you said, you want to show respect to any opponent, especially one that was top of the conference in last season. As corner 3 way off, rebound for Chung. Chung looking, will play it off to Drain. Drain down low into the corner. That is Dawahi. Dawahi cuts inside. Nice move. Layup, or sorry, mid-range shot is good. Beautiful spin move.
And you have to think now, Mohawk being the defending champs, coming back, looking really strong in their first game against Redeemer, and then just as strong here. They're going to be kind of one of those benchmark matchups for just about any team in this Western Division. Kind of a bit of a pulse check to see where you're at in comparison to what is looking like maybe the best team in the division. It's early to say, but they do look just as dangerous as they did last season.
They definitely look complete. You know, the rust that may have been shown in, you know, the first couple minutes of the first quarter, basically eliminated, as the Mountaineers have shown the defensive prowess, the rebounding, and the three-point shooting. Is we'll see Champagne no good on that layup. Chung the other way, plays it across to Smith. Smith on the wing, looking, doesn't shoot it. Plays it off to Dawahi. Dawahi, nice cut inside, another spin move. This time the jumper won't fall. Once again, the Knights will come the other way.
To speak to how complete the team is, Harrison, we have got 6 players on this Mohawk squad now with double-digit points, and Kendra Oliver with a double-double, so that's 11 rebounds and 11 points. But yeah, all around, everybody, the bench, the starters, they've all showed up today, and that's why they put up almost double the points of their opponent here.
Speaking of double dribble committed there by Emma Venditelli. Once again, as the Knights turn it over once again, and that'll probably be their biggest talking point, because you can't score if you keep turning over the ball.
No, it's hard to build kind of some offensive continuity possession to possession when you're not getting your opportunities. Drain makes a nice drive into the paint, but can't do it. Can't complete that.
Couldn't drain it. Not this
drain
time. She has a bit of a laugh as she knew that she fouled right after. As another sub is being made. This time for the Knights. Shallow coming back into this game.
Just going out for water breaks at this point.
This one all but academic, where you're definitely at mathematically impossible now.
Yeah, I think we've passed the point of no return as Gonzon gets another turnover here.
Once again, down low, it's Chung with the layup, and nice little touch. Gets the roll. The press continues against Shallow. Shallow looking for anyone, as foul called there on Chung.
Davis, or excuse me, Teskey in more discomfort. She went down with an apparent, what seemed to be some sort of ankle injury, and now if it was an eye poke or just contact to the face, she's down once again. So bumps and bruises for Teskey today.
She's been down a few times. Hopefully nothing serious. Obviously no one wants to see that, as we'll take a little minute here for an injury break, and for the home opener for these Mountaineer women, for the reigning champions, I think you'll be pretty happy with this performance.
And I think if you are a Mountaineers women's basketball fan, you couldn't have asked for a better home opener to come out and watch. Been a good crowd here today to cheer these ladies on, and I'm sure it'll continue as the men. Maybe not quite as, high pedigree as this championship women's team, but still a very talented roster coming up. So we'll look forward to seeing how the Niagara Mohawk men's matchup plays out, if it'll be a similar dominant fashion for the boys.
We'll just have to wait and see, because this one, even though the score is big, we'll keep going on, and you never know what can happen. Maybe the Knights can start bringing it back, maybe not necessarily win the game or tie it, but a nice little 15-point run, 20-point run to leave here with something positive. Shallow once again with it. Was offered a screen, didn't want it. Aaliyah Pereira now against Smith. Couple spin moves, back to Shallow. New York Shallow inside on the layup. It's good. Great take there against Selena Chung. The Mountaineers will come right back. Sydney Drain looking.
They're Shallow with 19 points. Game leading 19 points. Unfortunately, not much else from the rest of the squad. Chung will get fouled there.
Great passing from the Mountaineers and a great drive from Chung as she is fouled. She will take the free throws. And if you're, Lyric Shallow, you have the most points in this game, but it can always be tough when you're the leader and your team is, getting blown out. It's never fun. I mean, we've seen it tons of times in the NBA with star players who are on just, tough nights, because it can't always be your night.
Yeah, I mean, not much more she could do. I mean, she got a double-double. She got almost 15 rebounds, essentially 20 points. But, it's hard. I think the main thing that really went from a close game to like a blowout like what we're seeing right now is just clearly how much dominant Mohawk is in the paint, and size-wise, like, Mohawk is just overpowering this Niagara team, who maybe needs to get a little bit more time to grow into themselves, as these freshmen are still trying to figure out how to compete at this college level. Like you said, there's 7 new players. See if Pereira can sink that one.
Yeah, definitely being freshmen will not help, as once again the Mountaineers on another counterattack. So now it is Lanzan off to Smith. Joanna Smith down low. Now it's Dawahi. Try to make a move inside, lost it. Diving effort from both her and Venditelli. There will be foul called on Dawahi.
Now they'll just want to get to the end of this one with, no more technicals and clean play to the end, as this as essentially just a formality of 1 minute and 15 seconds of this game. And if you're Niagara, I mean, any points you can put up to close the deficit can't hurt.
To make you feel better at the end of this one, as Shallow does make that layup. So now once again the Mountaineers will control position. We'll probably look to dribble this one out, maybe take a few more shots as the shot clock is still on. It's Dawahi inside, layup won't go. Good defense there coming from Horton. Shallow. Across to Horton now. Horton drives the lane, kicks it out. Venditelli now. Back, and the pass is good. As Laszlock able to finish that one off.
Well, like we said, any points are good points if you're been struggling offensively despite it not meaning much in the grand scheme of things, is Smith with a nice little step there to get the reverse layup.
Smith will make that one, and now with no shot clock, you would assume both teams will probably hang on to this one. As Pereira driving on Glanzan, wanting to score seemingly. Venditelli does keep it alive, and now the Mountaineers will hold on to it. As this one is over, a dominant victory for the Mountaineers and the home opener of this championship team. And I'm sure they'll be happy about this one, Matt.
Absolutely. I mean, outstanding home opener. Not much more you can ask for. You know, looking maybe at just a few final statistics. Turnovers, 31 turnovers for Niagara, generated mostly off of the aggressive full press defense we saw to this Mohawk Mountaineers team. And then points off of turnovers, 25. So this Mohawk squad wasn't just generating turnovers, but they were capitalizing on it. And offensive rebounds, 20 offensive rebounds from this Mohawk Mountaineers squad. So they played aggressive, played a full game, played a complete game, points from the bench, points from their starters. Everyone was clicking on all cylinders as we get a look at some plays from that fourth quarter in the game as a whole.
Get a load of these replays, and you know, Lyric Shallow, definitely the bright light for the Niagara Knights, as we will be getting ready now as those highlights continue to play for the men's game. A little 10-minute, 15-minute break, and we'll be right back shortly. Once again, this is Harrison Myers and Matt Jandrew from Mohawk College's D-Bark. We'll be back shortly.